When your insurance is in sync, you can roll with anything. Travelers.
Me, Walter Neff. Insurance salesman. 35 years old, unmarried, no visible scars. Until a while ago, that is.
Walter Neff is played by Fred McMurray, who up until this point was known as a light romantic comedy leading man. We remember him today for his work with Disney in such gems as The Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber. He was also a beloved sitcom dad in the long-running My Three Sons. He once said, "The two films I did with Billy Wilder, Double Indemnity and The Apartment, are the only two parts I did in my entire career that required any acting."
I didn't get the money, and
Well, that's all right.
I didn't get the woman. Pretty, isn't it?
Barbara Stanwyck debuted in the early 30s, just in time to be a sexy leading lady of the pre-censorship Hollywood era. Her films had titles like Forbidden, Illicit, Babyface, and they still have the power to shock and delight audiences today. She continued a remarkable acting career well into the 80s with star turns in The Big Valley, Dynasty, and The Colbys. McMurray once asked her for the secret of acting. She said, "Just be truthful. And if you can fake that, you've got it made."
You no buzzard like you will ever put any cuffs on me.
Edward G. Robinson spent much of his career playing tough guys, including his early starring role as Rico in Little Caesar in 1931.
Mother of mercy. Is this the end of Rico?
And as Rocco in Key Largo in 1948.
You're not big enough to do this to Rocco. I'll kill you. You'll never bring me in, never.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, you have to wait for the officer.
I don't want to get my name in the newspaper, do you?
But he also played a mild-mannered fall guy to Joan Bennett's Femme Fatale and Scarlet Street, a key 1945 film noir.
Won't you take me home?
Why, yes. Sure, that is, if you think that...
His final film, in 1973, revealed that Soylent Green is people.
I haven't eaten like this in years.
Next, we'll go behind the scenes and talk about the creators of Double Indemnity. But first, a word from one of our sponsors, where we hit the road with a femme fatale.
Want a ride?
Are you insured?
Yes.
By Survival?
No.
I can't take that ride.
Call Survival for any car, any driver.
Survival offers the lowest rate guarantee.
Call Survival now.
Born in Vienna, Austria in 1906, Billy Wilder, a Jew, fled the Nazis in 1933 and ended up in Hollywood. Wilder had already garnered Oscar nominations for screenwriting when he directed his first major film, Double Indemnity, and followed that with Lost Weekend in 1945. For each film, he was nominated for both screenwriting and directing. Altogether, he was nominated for 15 Oscars. James M. Cain's 1935 novella had been kicking around the studios for years, but had been rejected by the Hays Office censors for its tawdriness. Wilder's usual writing partner, Charles Brackett, refused to have anything to do with it. But Wilder always wrote with a partner and tried to hire the author, but Cain was under contract to another studio. He was finally introduced to Raymond Chandler, author of The Big Sleep, who had never written for the movies before, even though he had lived in Southern California for most of his life. Wilder and Chandler could not stand each other. Chandler's tweed coat and pipe drove Wilder crazy, while Chandler felt that Wilder showed a lack of respect by wearing a hat indoors. But each knew by instinct that the other was a genius. Without the visual touches added to the novel by Wilder, and the razor-sharp dialogue contributed by Chandler, Double Indemnity would not be the crucial film noir that it is.
The insurance ran out on the 15th. I'd hate to think of you having a smashed fender or something while you're not fully covered.
About a year after the film came out, this exchange took place between Billy Wilder's two famous co-writers, Raymond Chandler in an Atlantic Monthly article. They spend millions to dress up a story that should have been thrown away. If you are a writer, most of your work is wasted. When it isn't, somebody else grabs the credit. To which Charles Brackett replied, Chandler's books are not good enough, nor his pictures bad enough to justify that article. Raymond Chandler. If my books had been any worse, I should not have been invited to Hollywood. If they had been any better, I should not have come. Speaking of Hollywood and pulp fiction, here is a final word from one of our sponsors.
Was anyone speaking to you? Is that your Thunderbird outside?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice car. You mind if we borrow it?
No. Here, take the keys.
You are insured.
Yeah.
By survival?
No.